Hey everybody, this is Jason Hires. How you doing today? Hey, so let's get right down to it. Virtuosos are boring. That's right. Now, there are a lot of really talented people that are great musicians, that are fantastically talented musicians, but they're boring to listen to. They are. They're boring. I mean, they're great musicians, but they're just not interesting. Now, why is that exactly? You know, why is it that somebody that's a fantastically talented musician is boring to listen to? Now, not everybody would agree with me. There are a whole lot of people out there that are very impressed by the musical skill of other musicians. It's kind of like the music for musician school. There are some people that they see somebody that can do something that's very technically complicated, and they're wowed by the fact that they can actually play that. And that's fine. But, you know, so what? You know, it's great that you can play music, but where's the emotional connection? What's the thing that makes people want to listen to you? You know, if you don't connect with anybody, who cares? It's boring. You know, to me, I would rather hear somebody that can barely play but has some kind of a passion and connects with me than the greatest musician in the world. I mean, that's me. I want to connect to somebody. Now, here's the argument, though. And here's kind of the thought that I have on this and that I've been thinking about today, and this is why I'm going to make this video, is it's not necessarily the virtuoso that's boring. It's the context and the songs that they play. It's what they're doing with their virtuosity that's boring. It's a lot of times virtuoso musicians are playing, you know, kind of in a boring context. For instance, a lot of blues musicians. There are a lot of virtuoso blues musicians. They're fantastic musicians. They play really great. But when you're just listening to the same 12-bar blues format for an hour, it starts to get boring after a while. And here comes my kitty. Yay! My kitty says hi. Say hi, kitty. That's what happens when you get in the way of the video. Alright, anyway, that was fun improvisation. That was Audie the kitty being a guest star in this particular video. And, but, you know, if you're only listening to, you know, okay, now it's the next song. Here we go. You know, it's all the same. It's the same basic musical structure. So after a while, it gets boring. Take somebody like Buddy Guy. Buddy Guy is fantastic. Half of Hendrix's shtick was stolen from Buddy Guy. That's not an exaggeration. That's just the truth. However, Buddy Guy isn't much of a songwriter. A lot of his songs are the same kind of cliche blues stuff. And when you see him live, after a while, it gets kind of boring. You know, as much as I admire Buddy Guy as a musician, I can only listen to Buddy Guy for so long before I kind of get tired of it. Now, I have a couple of clips here, and my attempt is I'm going to try to back up my claim with this. And I'm going to play you one clip that is many people considered to be like one of the greatest guitar players ever lived, and is one of the most technically proficient guitar players. Revolutionized guitar, the whole 9 yards, you know, and this is like one of his signature pieces. I'm going to play you a little bit of it, and then we'll talk about it for a minute, okay? So here we go. Alright, we'll see if that gets this video blocked, which it might. because it's a Van Halen clip. Yeah, that's Eddie Van Halen. A lot of people consider Eddie Van Halen to be great. That's from a thing that he does called Eruption. This is from a live performance. Now, a lot of people will say that Eruption is one of the greatest guitar solos ever. But, you know, it's just a guitar solo. It's a guitar solo with nothing else. I mean, he's technically proficient. His style with the tapping and the speed and everything that he can do with it is pretty impressive. But if you're listening to it just as a piece of music and you're not really wowed by what he's doing in terms of the skill that he has playing the guitar, so what? It's not that interesting. I'm sorry, it's just not. Bands like Rush, they're great musicians, but their songs are boring. They're not interesting. They don't have any passion, you know? So you can be the greatest musician in the world, but if you don't have any passion, and if you're not framing it in a context that makes it interesting, then, you know, it's just not going to be that great. Now, on contrary, I'm going to play you a different guitar player, and this is also somebody who can be considered to be a virtuoso musician. He's Nels Cline, and this is for a band called Wilco. And this is a song called Impossible Germany. I'm going to play a little bit of Impossible Germany here. All right. Okay, so that was just a small bit of that song, and that's the guitar solo. Now, one thing is there is a whole band here, and there is 2 other guitar players on this particular track. The 2 guitar players are playing a vamping part that is the support for the solo that Nels Cline is playing. But the richness of the context that this virtuosity is being played over is a lot more interesting. So it's more engaging. So you can both enjoy the music in the background of what you're listening to and appreciate the amazing musicianship at the same time. Now, to me, that's a lot more engaging than just, hey, look at that guy, he can play really good. You know, so I don't mind virtuoso musicians. I just want them to play something, you know, a decent song that goes with it so that I can get into it more. If you want to hear a virtuoso musician who can write great songs, the textbook example is a gentleman by the name of Richard Thompson. Strongly recommend that you check him out. But the thing about it is that, you know, being a great instrumentalist isn't enough. If there isn't an emotional connection, then you're missing something, you know. And to me, the emotional connection is more important than the skill as a musician. And that's why being a virtuoso doesn't necessarily mean that you're an exciting musician to listen to. That's why virtuosos can be boring. And a lot of times virtuosos are boring because they didn't really develop their songcraft. The only thing they did was really learn how to play the crap out of the instrument. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a great one. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Goodbye.